The web is an exciting place. Every day it possesses millions of financial transactions, serves up the latest news and celebrity gossip, and provides a meeting place for every type of community, from political anarchists to vampire show fans. Introducing the World Wide Web. The computer visionaries who created it began developing the idea in the early 60s. In 1993, the first web browser hit the scene. In 1969, the Internet community consisted of 4 computers. Today, well over 100 million websites and many more web enthusiasts are online. The web vs. the Internet. The Internet is a network of connected computers that spans the globe. The World Wide Web is one of the many ways to exchange information across the Internet. And how do people tap into this information? You guessed it. They use special programs called web browsers to visit websites and web pages spread across the globe. Web browsers. A web browser is a piece of software that lets you navigate and display web pages. First, it requests web pages, which happens when you type in a website address or click a link in a web page. The browser sends that request to a far-off computer called a web server. The server heeds these requests and sends back the contents of the desired web pages. When the browser gets those contents, it puts its second skill into action and renders or draws the web page. How to choose your browser? Even if you're not interested in changing your browser, it's a good idea to be familiar with the most common ones out there. The following list describes the most popular browsers. Internet Explorer is still the world's most used browser. The clear advantage of using Internet Explorer is that you'll never run into a web page you can't read. With a market share of near 60%, Internet Explorer is simply too successful for site creators to ignore. The downside is that Microsoft is slow and cautious in updating Internet Explorer. Firefox started its life as a modern response to Internet Explorer. It's a web browser that's lean and secure. Firefox pioneered several innovative features long before Internet Explorer caught up, including tabbed browsing and pop-up blocking. Firefox is still ahead of the game with its incredible flexible add-ons, tiny programs that other people develop to enhance Firefox with extra features, like a webmail notifier and thumbnails of the sites that show up in a Google Search results page. Google Chrome is the new kid on the block. It came into existence at the end of 2008. Web fans love the way it runs JavaScript with blistering speed. Safari is an Apple-designed browser that comes with current versions of the Mac OS X operating system. Apple products like the iPhone, iPad, and the iPod Touch use a Safari browser. It's quick and elegant. Although Apple originally developed Safari exclusively for Mac computers, you can now download a Windows incarnation. Opera is a slimmed-down, easy-to-install browser that's been around for well over a decade. For years, Opera was held back by an unfortunate detail. If you wanted an ad-free version, you needed to pay. Today, Opera is free and ad-free too, just like the other browsers on this list. The incredible shrinking Internet Explorer. Internet Explorer is still the world's most popular browser and by a solid margin. But its grip on web fans is steadily loosening. Interestingly, browser share results change depending on the web surfer's country and the type of website. Another variable is the type of device you use to browse the web. So, keep these two pieces of advice in mind. First, stick to web standards. To make sure everyone gets a good viewing experience, write solid, standards-based HTML and ensure that every web page includes a doc type. Web servers. When you type a web address into a browser, a web server receives the browser's request and sends back the correct web page. Most people get a commercial company called a web host to give them a little space on one of their servers, usually for a monthly fee. Sometimes you can rent this space from the same company you use for internet access. They may even include server space as part of your internet connection package. Becoming a web host. Can I run a web server? In theory, you definitely can. Firstly, you need to have a reliable computer that runs 24 hours a day. That computer also needs to run special web hosting software that can serve up web pages when browsers request them. The next problem is that your computer requires a special type of connection to the internet called a fixed IP address. An IP address is a number that identifies your computer on the web. IP stands for Internet Protocol, and it usually has an extra cost for the internet providers. Planning a website. To create your own website, apart from the theory, it is necessary to make a good planning beforehand. Types of sites. Some people have a very specific goal in mind, like getting hired for a job or promoting a book, while others are just planning to unleash their self-expression. If you want to share pictures of Junior with the relatives, chronicle a trip to Kuala Lumpur, or just post your latest thoughts and obsessions, a personal website is the place to do it. Resume sites are a specialized type of personal site and a powerful career-building tool. Topical sites focus on a particular subject that interests you. Event sites are not designed to weather the years instead. They revolve around a specific event. Promotion sites are ideal when you want to show off your personally produced CD or hot-off-the-presses book. Sometimes these websites evolve into small business sites where you actually sell your wares. E-commerce sites like Amazon.com or eBay is far beyond the abilities of a single person. Innovative companies like PayPal and Yahoo provide services that can help you build shopping cart-style sites and accept credit card payments. You can also host advertisements to earn more money. The lifespan of your site. The web constantly changes, and the best websites are always improving. Creating a website is hard enough, and keeping its content fresh is even more taxing. Here are a few tips that can help you out. Think in stages. Think of it as version 1 and start planning a few changes for the next version. Your best strategy is to identify sections you want to change regularly. On a small business website, you might concentrate on the home page so you can advertise new products and upcoming specials. Design a website that's easy to change. One method is to use style sheets to separate page format from your content. Practice good design. Every year, hundreds of websites win awards for being abjectly awful. Here are a few general principles that can help make sure you never wind up on a worst of the web list. Keep it simple. Don't use extra content you don't need. Be consistent. Know your audience. To help decide what is and isn't suitable, check out lots of other sites that deal with the same sort of material as yours. Reaching as many people as possible. Not only do you need to understand your audience, you also need to understand that audience's computer capabilities. To make your website as accessible as these top sites, you need to stick to widely accepted web standards and try your site on different computers. The ingredients of a website. Now that you know what sort of website you want to build, it's time to get practical. Building a website is not just about picking a good design and writing solid content. Every website needs different pages. To create a basic web page, you need to understand HTML, Hypertext Markup Language, the language of the web. Also, a site needs a web space and a web server so that other people can see it. You can get your first web pages online, either with a fee-based service or a free alternative. Another thing needed is a domain name. It's not free, but it's not expensive, either about $10 or $15 a year. If you want to put your website address on a business card or a brochure for a small business, your own domain name is really the best choice. When creating a website, you need some web design tools. If you have a commercial program like Dreamweaver, you're in good hands. Another necessary thing in a website is hyperlinks to transfer you to other pages. Once you master the basics of web pages and websites, there is far more ground to conquer. You can get your site listed in a search engine, establish your own community forum, and even sell stuff. Why not create interactive pages with JavaScript code, design a pop-up menu, and add audio and video? All these features take you beyond basic web design and put you on the road to becoming a genuine web expert.